How do you morally justify not being vegan?
Yeah, I think it's a very like relative subjective thing. So I think that the desire to reduce animal suffering insofar as someone's circumstance allows is that's a good thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can certainly argue for that. I think that, I'm in a position economically.
Is it all right? Is it all right if I clarify something real quick? Just
Sure.
to be clear,
Yeah.
it's not about the reduction of suffering, though. Just to be clear, that is a part of what happens with veganism. But my point is that we recognize it's immoral to use somebody's body without consent. That's it.
Okay. I think I would come close to agreeing with that. I think that when it comes to it is a privileged position for someone like me, and I'm not going to presume to know your context, but it's a privileged position for someone like me to be in a situation where I can say, hey, this is how I'm going to sustain myself. I'm going to do it in such a way where it's going to, prioritize not just human life, but all life. I think that's great. I think that there are very much people in this world that don't have that privileged of a position, and they're forced kind of into this, not really a moral thing. It's more of an ethical thing where it's like, what is the greatest evil that I am going to be forced to commit here? Do I eat animals and live, or do I not eat animals and risk malnutrition or disease and other things? So I think it's kind of an inherently privileged position for someone like me to make a statement that it's always that it's only moral, that it's moral universally. I just don't accept that. I think it's very
okay. So
subjective.
I'll clarify. I don't think that even in a survival situation, I think it's understandable and justifiable to unalive another person. For example, if you're in a survival situation, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to condemn those that are literally forced to have to take an animal's life. I don't think that they are excused from the conversation. I think they're just people, and they are welcome to the table to talk about ethics and morality, right?
Sure.
And I think there's nothing wrong with them being aware that they are taking the gravity of what they're doing, taking someone's life so that they can sustain themselves.
Yeah.
I think it's also an injustice that they don't have choices, right? They don't have options. That's wrong. And a lot of these areas that are in food deserts still have access to a government, and so to me that's a situation where the government needs, or the community, something needs to be done. That is an injustice. There needs to be a solution there.
I want
to talk but I am focused on people that do have the choice. So even though I do still think those people living in harsh environments, it's immoral, I still think that it's justified. When you don't have a justification, though, if you're just doing it for taste pleasure, you don't have any reason.
Yeah, and
they're sentient beings that want to live.
Yeah, and again, like I look at it as kind of like this gradient, more than like a binary choice. Like, yes, it's okay for some people. No, it's not okay for others. It's messy. I think that life is a lot of times like in the gray, and I think of there's people in the context of the United States that are incredibly impoverished, and they're trying to figure out how to take what limited resources they have to buy food from the supermarket, let's say.
Sure. That's not my point, though, right? I'm not focused on them. I do agree it's an injustice that people don't have full access to healthy foods. Yeah. What I'm saying is, despite your situation, no matter what situation, desperation or not, you can still take the time to understand that an animal is sentient, that they want to live just like a dog. And if you do take that seriously, you'll do everything in your power to not take their life unless you have to. So it's about your mindset. It's not about what situation you have to be in. If someone was living in those harsh environments, let's say the Inuit tribes, okay? Somebody in an Inuit tribe wants to be vegan because they totally disagree with harming animals. Yeah. They can still... They're going to look at what their options are, and they're going to look for everything that they can change to be vegan, right? They have the mindset. They're determined. If you're not determined and all you want to do is figure out what's convenient for yourself, and you're only thinking of yourself, you're not going to care about any victim. You're only going to care about your conveniences, and you can justify anything based off of that. Does that make sense? So I'm saying everyone else, I understand that harsh environments happen, but we can all look at the animals and decide they do not deserve to be a resource. They deserve to be looked at as the sentient individuals that they are.
Sure. Yeah, I agree with all that. I think, I don't want to take away from any of that. The only reason I was chiming in is I felt like the conversation needed the nuance of kind of like that there was a sense of subjectivity to this, to some.
Of course, everything is subjective.
Well.
The way that I normally do want to put it is, if you agree with me that harming others when it's unnecessary is immoral, then you would consider animals in that as well. That's all I'm trying to say. Totally fair.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. I'll let you, I know that you need time for other guests or to get back to your personal life, so I'll let you go.
Yeah, I probably will go. Well, I appreciate you coming up and bringing up great questions.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, you have a great day.